Okay, so what's going on, people? Never really sure when this thing goes live exactly, because there have been times when it's like, oh, you're live now, and I start talking, and then when I'm going through to put the timestamps in, it's like it's cut off the first few seconds of me talking. I'm like, okay, well, so you're just lying to me now? What am I even paying you for, right? Either way, so here's the thing: I got a handful of action figures. These came, well, they didn't come in the mail or anything, but these came up. It was like the day after the last time I sat down to this live thing with a bunch of the other figures and stuff. So I ended up going to Target that day. There had to be a whole bunch of things there that I wanted. So now here I am talking about these before this pile gets any bigger, right? There's also some shirts in here, so let's just go ahead and get through this real quick. First, foremost, right here, this is leading off with the whole Series 19 of the Elite Legends series or whatever, right? So the first one up is going to be the Undertaker. I don't know what's going on with that hat that he has on. I'm not a fan of it. It looks weird, but whatever. And then he's got like the standard rest of the stuff on. So let's see if I can move this around just a little bit so there's not as much glare. So yeah, so then he's got the rest of the stuff that you would normally have on, right? There. That way there's not as much of a glare in the background. Instead, now you mostly just see more action figures like these off-white He-Mans and a bunch of AEW things. What he looks like under that, no idea. But either way, as a big Undertaker fan, I wanted this one the most out of the pack because I wanted it for my little Undertaker collection or whatever. But hey, I was gonna get it regardless. I just thought that I was probably gonna end up with only that one out of this particular set. But things worked out a little differently. So I ended up with this also, Common Mustafa, right? So if you remember him from the Nation of Domination, he did also have a collector's edition figure maybe 2 years ago. It's up there on my shelf somewhere. He's got like red and white on, I think it is, right? Got the weird flat top sort of thing going on. It was right before this phase of his life and all that stuff. But either way, this one's pretty cool. Like I was saying, it's the Nation of Domination figure, which I've wanted a set of those for a while, but I wasn't sure if they'd release the whole set like this or whatever. So I was like, I don't even know. Like, do I buy it and hope that they put out the rest, or do I just pass on it and then go back for it later? But since I walked into Target and they had the full lineup, which as you can see right there, you'll see all four of those, actually five, depending on how you want to look at it. They had them, so I went ahead and bought them, right? But yeah, so nothing spectacular about this, but I do really like the way they do the detailing as far as the tattoos and stuff goes. A lot of these elite figures are done very well. Some of them they just kind of phone it in. Luckily, unlike a lot of the Marvel figures lately, they do come with open packaging, so you can well, it's closed in, but it's plastic packaging, so that way you can at least see in there. Because if you happen to find a Marvel figure in store that you like, and it's one of those closed in boxes, make sure you check it first because there were some people that were buying stuff when they first started doing that and they'd get home or wherever, open it up and there's a different figure inside or nothing inside. So not a good idea to do that in some cases, right? The whole closed off thing. But I get it, it's saved on plastic and some about like eco-friendly, whatever. Moving along, we have Brother Love over here. A coworker was with me when this whole thing was going down, and he was like, "Is this wrong? Like, what's with the guy's face? Is he like that?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's part of his thing, right?" I think he was on Raw not all that long ago. But either way, so Brother Love, I don't remember a whole lot about the guy personally because along the time that he was involved, I was not paying any attention, right? I did watch old tapes later on once I got into wrestling. I do remember seeing him there, but I don't remember anything about the guy. I know he was affiliated with The Undertaker in his earlier phases and stuff, but what exactly he was doing and how he was taken out of the picture, not a clue. Up next, this is going to be D'Lo Brown, right? Which he's actually still, well, I don't know if he's still with them or whatever, but I remember seeing him on some Impact shows a year or so ago. Not sure if he's still working with them or not, but he wasn't really in the ring as often. But he was, I guess, working backstage or something. But something happened, and then he was involved in some little scuffle. Either way, so this is him when he was wearing the big chest protection plate or whatever. It's got the standard Nation of Domination stuff going on with the green, the yellow, the red, all that, right? So pretty cool figure. I mean, I can't quite say fully what it looks like because he's got the hat on, right? But Another thing about D'Lo Brown, I was watching, I think it might have been the New Jack documentary or some other ECW documentary. I didn't realize he was affiliated with that in such a way, but he was. And now he's got a figure out that's looking pretty decent, so not mad at it in any way. Moving along, this is going to be the same figure, but it's the Chase version, right? So I want to say with all the Legends series, they've always had a Chase figure. I could be wrong, but I feel like I'm right. So this happens to be the one for this particular set. And I told myself if I do end up going for these at some point, I'm not likely to find this, so I'm not even going to worry about it. Also, I wasn't sure how I even felt about the blue, but looking at it, it's a nice blue. It's just, I'm still not sure why. I don't know the story behind it, but it could be something. Maybe had some match in it on the side on like some Sunday Night Heat episode. Either way, so side by side wise, this is what we're looking at, right? So standard things, just a minor change of the colors, and they did repaint the tights, so it's not just a color swap, which they've done with, say, like the Bobby Lashley figures have largely all been color swaps lately. This time around, they actually did a totally different style. And I won't say all the Bobby Lashleys, but the last two that I picked up for review purposes and such, I think one was red, one was black as far as the tights go, something like that. But yeah, not bad though. Not amazing either, but if I could only pick one, I would definitely pick the standard, not the Chase, because it's more accurate in some ways. And we'll do Seth Rollins last because I like him most, right? So this right here, this is the Ultimate Edition Andre the Giant figure, right? As you can tell by it saying Andre the Giant and Ultimate somewhere on the side, this side. So one of the things about this is that he does have the extra large or extra long title. So I think you are able to fit that around his waist. It looks like he would. I don't have anything else over here with a title on it or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be longer than the standard because it looks a lot longer. But since I haven't taken this thing out yet, because I don't know where I'm going to display my Ultimates just yet, so I'll figure that out later. Otherwise, it's got the little, is that a soft good style? Yeah, it's got a soft good style shirt in there. 3 different heads, right? It's not quite focusing. There we go, kind of, sort of. So it's got the 3 separate heads in addition to the one that he comes with, and then a bunch of hands down there. And the thing about the hands, and some people thought that the fingers were messed up, but that's just the way his hands were. So they went more for accuracy than to be like aesthetically pleasing. And you can see it there. That's just how his fingers were, or maybe that's just how he waved. It was something about it, but either way, that's an intent that they were going for there, not just some mess up at the factory. But otherwise, it's just your standard Andre the Giant for the most part. I didn't really think much of the figure, but since they had it there, and I was like, well, I guess I can just buy this right now and just be done with it. I bought it because otherwise, I may not have ended up with this. If I had to order it from Ringside or something, I probably would have just left it on the digital shelves. Moving along, last, certainly not least, this is going to be Seth freaking Rollins, right? So this one has got the nice colorful pants and everything like that with a jacket to match. I mean, I guess it kind of matches, but I'm just saying it's colorful. Got some fur at the top, so you can tell it's going to be one of those soft style jackets. At the top, he doesn't have quite as many heads as Andre had, but he's got a lot of other stuff, so I don't think he needs that. And these ones are all just fine, right? I do kind of like this one that has the smile a little bit more than I like the open mouth. And the one that he has just on him or whatever is kind of like straightforward style of it. But that's just my take on it. But otherwise, there's not really anything going on in there other than a bunch of extra hands. And if you look at the bottom, you do see he has like the hands that he uses when he's kind of like signaling for the music or whatever. So it's a nice touch, right? When I saw that this was coming around, this was an instant must-have for me. It wasn't an instant purchase, to be honest, obviously, because I'm just now getting it. I figured since a lot of these things don't really just sell out immediately or seemingly at all for like years in some cases, I'll pick it up whenever I get around to it, and maybe I'll be able to get it on a sale. I did not get this for sale. I could have probably waited longer and done that, but since I was buying these other 5 figures, I figured what's 2 more, right? So I bought all 7, call it a day. And there we go, there's that. But I do like the Ultimates, they tend to have some extra stuff going on, which is nice, and the packaging is cool. So even if you're not like an open the box kind of guy or girl, whatever, then you can still display it and it looks fairly decent. So real quick before I go getting on out of here, I'm going to open up some other stuff. So we'll do this one first because this one is an action figure. Slide on in through there. This comes from the Usagi Studios, or whatever they call it, the Stan Sakai website. And this is going to be a Usagi Yojimbo figure. If you are a Ninja Turtles fan, that name probably means something to you. If you are not, then it doesn't likely mean anything to you, right? Because it's just a blur of letters and numbers, blur of letters. But anyway, so let's go ahead and get this thing all opened up, right? So this was a pricey figure. And when I say that, the figure itself is only like a $40 figure. Sure, not a big deal, right? At least not to me. But the thing is, for this particular one, they had the standard release. Well, it's all the same figure, but they had the standard purchase where it's just the figure, right as you would get it off of Target or something. Then they had the one that had like the drawing on it where they would go on and just kind of like sign it and draw a little picture at the top, right? So each one is going to be a little different. So this one came in and I want to say $150. And then there's another version that had like more that they would sketch on there, right? And again, they did each one individually. So everybody's that bought one is going to be just a little bit different. But if you bought that one, I forget what all it had on it, but that one was $250. And so when I got to the website and at first I saw like, Jesus Christ, $250 is the one, huh? I guess we're going all in today, right? But luckily I did look a little more at the site and they still had the $151 on there. So I was like, okay, let's do that because I don't really want to spend $250 on this, but if it has to happen, it'll at least be kind of special, right? And I did see him at Comic-Con and he was signing other stuff, but it was kind of nice to have this out of the way rather than have to deal with doing it all there. But let's go ahead, see if this opens up a little bit. And it should. There we go. So slide this on. I'll show you the back real quick because this is Space Usagi, right? Hey, it's homegrown. Oh, I made another live, even if it's the end. Well, I still have two bags with shirts in them and then one box with some cards in it to open up. So you're not really at the end. You're just after the main part. This is just like the rest of some crap. So anyway, this right here is what is going on back there, right? There is a comic book going on. I think it's supposed to tie in with the Where Wins storyline. And then like normal Usagi and Space Usagi are going to meet up and then something's going to happen. I also got this card in there, which was probably something I knew when I bought it, but didn't know until, it wasn't on my mind or anything. So there's that by Stan Sakai. So that way you can know what that says. He has a pretty cool looking signature. Like I've never seen that before. So that's new to me. But here's the figure, right? So standard things. I should have brought my other Usagi over here, but he's all the way over there and I'm not going to get it. But either way, I do have the standard release as well. They were both done in black and white. This one, he's just from space. So that being the difference. So I don't really think there's too much else to say. There's the back of it. Gives you some better shots of it as far as what it's coming out like. So there you go. That's what he's doing. He's living his space life. Let's set this back over on here and move on to the next thing. But I do like it. I think that the figure was done pretty well, right? Just as do the whole review portion of this. I think the figure was done really well. Scaling wise, it's nice that it's a little shorter than a lot of the other NECA figures and stuff because he was a little shorter than the other dudes and whatever. And they throw in a bunch of extra stuff down here. I want to say there was also a version of this that came with something extra, but I can't remember what it was. So it might be this version. It might not be. But if you look at various Space Usagis, and you're looking at buying one, look at the accessories first and see what all it comes with because there are two different versions out there floating around. I just don't remember at all what they were. So there's that. And then we'll do this box next because why not? It's closer. And those boxes with the shirts or those packages with the shirts will be a little easier to deal with. And I like to do the easy stuff last anyway, right? So what is this? Let's see here. Did he say something else? Usagi was a great character, even though he seemed to be clueless in his interactions with the turtles. I don't remember anything about his interactions with anybody whatsoever, right? At this point, I buy the stuff because I like it, and it gives me something to talk about when I'm doing these things, right? So sometimes people come through and they're like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that this was a thing. I'll have to look into it, right? So that's part of the reason I share this stuff, because otherwise some people might not know some things. This is a large box, larger than I expected it to be. That is for sure, because the last specialized Uno box I got was a little more compact. If you saw that video, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, don't worry about it. You're not missing a whole lot. Either way, so this is Uno Ultimate Marvel Edition, right? They do also have a DC version as well. I have a Superman card from that I won at Comic Con, but I don't have anything else from the DC section, and I don't plan to get it because I prefer Marvel. It's a personal thing. So anyway, so that's what's going on back there. You got some special cards and stuff. And this version is still in stock on mattelcreations.com. So you can go over there, check it out, see if you want it or whatever. Basically, it's basically your standard Uno game, but they have these special cards in there, and these cards have special powers, right? So it's like, oh, well, but this card, you force everybody to draw four. But this card, you get to like be immune to any card that is drawn against you that you don't, they all have these little different things based off of like the characters. And those things I used as examples. That's just me making up stuff because I don't remember what exactly they said. But it does add a nice little twist to the whole Uno thing. So picked up two of these. One of these is going to somebody, right? Like I said before, I do give away my share of things. I don't keep all the stuff for myself. So when you see more than one of something, it's usually going out into the world somewhere. So I keep a box for myself, so that way I can talk more about it later, and then I give one out, and that way it's just me being nice or something, some good into the world because it needs it sometimes. Anyways, I mean, I don't really watch the news a whole lot, but I haven't heard about anything that's like overly crazy happening lately. But I could be wrong because again, it's the world, and the world we live in is a little weird. So, moving along. What we have next is a couple shirts. And going by what's in here, these are going to be from Fanatics. Fanatics is where you buy the wrestling shirts, the WWE shirts, that is. You can also buy other stuff there. If you're into sports or whatever, they have like jerseys and such. I think I just bought a jersey from there not all that long ago, Rodman. So this is a Yes Boy shirt, right? So if you're familiar with Pretty Deadly, then you're familiar with this shirt and you understand it. If you're not, well, listen to what I just said. Pretty Deadly is a tag team. Throw that on top, and now you're all caught up. See? So here's the thing. This one, it's not a Fanatics branded shirt, as you can see by that WWE at the top. When they are Fanatics branded, you never know what kind of quality you're going to get. But they do also carry a lot of the branded shirts from the WWE people. And even still, if you're wondering about the quality and whatnot, you kind of just got to take that chance because it's a bit of a gamble. They have all kinds of stuff on there, right? So I've bought many shirts, and they come in various different thicknesses and printing qualities. Like everything is just luck of the draw, right? So figure out, I mean, the sizing wise, they all seem to fit the same. So there's that. That's consistent. But if you buy a shirt from there and you're like, man, this is great quality, I really want to get more of these. Good luck to you. You might not, right? So there's that for you. So let's go ahead and open this one up real quick too, because it's here and that's why I'm here. Let's see, what's the time looking like? 18. Okay, not terrible, but let's keep this thing moving. So this is a Seth Rollins shirt. Hopefully that's kind of centered. Here's the thing about this one. I liked it a whole lot. Even has a back design. Check that out, right? I liked it a whole lot, and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to pick that up. And then when I went to go pick it up, I wasn't early to the party. I was waiting on a sale because the WWE shirts are made in huge numbers, so they usually go on sale. But all of a sudden, old Seth freaking Rollins got super freaking popular, and this shirt sold out. And I was like, I've never seen that before. Like, are they going to bring it back? Because it's kind of an older shirt. So I was waiting. I had the tab open on my laptop on my phone for like weeks, right? Just kind of seeing if it would come back in stock. And it did, and I bought it immediately, right? And I believe it's still out there right now, but I'm not going to act like it's like the best shirt in the world. But to capture this era of him, which has been really good. I mean, he's the champ now, right? I was like, I should really get that shirt. I have some of the other ones, I have like the Monday Night Rollins shirt. I have one of the Monday Night Messiah shirts, right? Got the whole Slay the Beast thing. So I have a lot of him. And it gives me options. So if I ever want to pull out a Seth Rollins shirt, then I can do that, you know? It's just a matter of which one. And now we're going to end things off with another unboxing. That's cool. Uno is my game. Dude, like, one of the main reasons I used to play Xbox 360 was for Uno. Like, I was playing online, you know, that was back when you could, like, use a webcam and, like, talk to the people. Actually, I don't know if you could talk to them, but you could see the people you were playing with or whatever. So it was kind of fun in a way. But anyway, so this right here, this is going to be from Fanatics also. It's an Iowa Hawkeyes shirt. Some of you might know that or whatever. And this one is from Nike. So like I said, when you buy stuff from Fanatics, you just got to look at the shirt itself to know what you're going to get. And this one is feeling exactly like I expected it to feel. So very cool. It's one of those athletic style shirts, super light, super thin. You can't quite tell it from the pictures and whatnot. But I wear a lot of gym shirts, and stuff like this is super handy to have, right? So that way I can wear it under my work shirt, which is like just a button shirt. And then when it's time to go off into the real world, which is the gym, just take that thing off and I'm halfway ready. You just got to change pants, depending on what kind of pants I'm wearing. So there we go. That is everything. I've covered what I needed to say, I'm pretty sure. I got some videos that I recorded today, a bunch of shirts from Roosevelt's, and I recorded an actual review of these here Undertaker 12s, right? Look at that. They match this shirt almost perfectly. Crazy, right? So recorded this today. It will go out in a few months, and I'm not saying that to exaggerate. I have noticed how long it's been taking me to work through my backlog, and so I do not expect that video to be out into the world at any point soon. And I think that everybody's okay with that because nobody's buying those things anyway, right? So there we go. That's everything. Got the Elites, got the Ultimates, some Uno stuff, some usagi yojimbo. Not a bad day, right? Not a bad day. The problem now, getting a shelf to display all this stuff on, but whatever. Also on the upside, I'm still under my 30 minutes, which is cool, with a whole lot of room to spare, right? But I try to keep these things moving, right? So I'm not just going to drag it out or whatever to get as much time in as I can. I'm done now, so I'm going to wrap this thing up and move on with my night because somebody wants to eat dinner. From me to you, have a nice rest of your day or rest of your night, whatever it is, wherever you are. Those videos I just talked about, don't expect to see those Roosevelt's ones probably until I'd say mid to late next week. And at some point after that, I'll probably get back into the shoe thing. I have a whole bunch of those. I'm actually, the next two videos you see shoe related will be actually my last two purchases of 2022. So that's how far back I am. So yeah, think about that for a minute. Crazy, right? Anyways, that's it. Thank you to Homegrown Kicks and whoever else was watching in the background or whatever. I see like the numbers or whatever. I get people watch this as background noise and stuff. I'm totally fine with that. That's how I watch a lot of my lives too. So we've got something in common. We should hang out sometime. All right, that's enough rambling and whatnot out of me. Later, people. I'm going to click this end button as soon as I switch over to this StreamYard tab, and I will be on my way.